On the edge of Valletta stands Fort St. Elmo. Built in the 16th century by the Knights of St. John, the fort has stood sentinel to the Grand Harbour for centuries. Hundreds, if not thousands, of ships have sailed past its bastions. Ships laden with cargo sailed into Grand Harbour, filled to the brim with spices from all over the world. Spices that for centuries flavored our Maltese kitchens. These same spices were being used either in Malta or transshipped to Europe, which was eager to receive these commodities. Yet today we're going to be talking about a peculiar ingredient, blocks of ice brought from atop a volcano in Sicily. Malta was hungry for the ice that was daily being brought from Sicily. A very fast ship was used to bring in the ice. It is found in the documents as Tartana della Neve, a sleek ship that could actually arrive in Sicily in 12 hours and be back in Malta in 12 hours. Always the intrepid businessman, the Maltese used to add a number of prostitutes onto the Tartana della Neve when an Allied fleet was in harbour, and prostitutes and ice were badly needed in harbour. In 1770, the merchant in charge of this whole monopoly was Salvatore Vella. He had his storehouses just where today we have Victoria Gate, and from there all the ice cream makers and confectioners of Valletta were buying their ice. The technology to keep the ice from melting was very primitive, yet it was very effective. The ice coming into the island was used for various things. Picture yourself on a hot summer's day in Malta, and you need a cold glass of white wine. White wine coming from Burgundy was extremely popular in the 18th century at Malta. The ice was also used to prepare various sorbets and ice creams. We actually still have some of the recipes. In 1746, Grandmaster Pinto was overlooking his fleet. The fleet was sailing out from behind St. Angelo to show off the might of the Order of St. John. Grandmaster Pinto at that point decided to order a refreshing sorbet. We are told it was an iced fruit sorbet. The recipe that we are recreating today is a bitter orange sorbet. This sorbet is from a recipe of the 1740s. Apparently it was all the rage on the island of Malta. In the document we find it as the recipe for a bergamot orange sorbet. In 1755, the British visitor to our island, Patrick Bryden, actually writes that orange trees from Malta were being sent yearly to Marie Antoinette at Versailles. These orange trees and bergamot trees were found all over the island, but the most popular were the ones at San Anton and at Verdala Palace in Busquet. Picture this. To prepare the recipe, you needed ice from Mount Etna in Sicily, sugar, possibly from the Caribbean or Sicily, oranges from Malta, cinnamon from the Pacific, and you are producing them on this little rock in the middle of the Mediterranean. All the ingredients from all over the world and being enjoyed here in Malta. And that is what Taste History is inviting you to do today. Take a stroll through the busy streets of Valletta, enjoy a coffee in one of the piazzas, and order a sorbet, and appreciate the long history of sorbets and ice creams in Malta.